Hey guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lew. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lew will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lew.
All right, guys, let's go to work this morning. Yes, it is Monday morning. Welcome back to Breakthrough with Lew, guys. I really sincerely hope you have been with me all week long, or all month long, for the past month, and a little longer than that, to do this New Year, New You series that really gets you into digging into stepping up and going forward into the new year, new you. Hey, good morning, Kelly. I do have a question. I will get to your question shortly. I definitely want to commend you if you've been on for the past month or so, as well as if you've been on for a lot longer than that. I appreciate each and every one of you. So I want to commend you for showing up on Monday mornings, not for me, but for you. And if you show up on Monday morning, you take something from this and you put it towards your success, then you've done something for me as well, because that is my mission out here, to help you succeed, right? So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about action, baby. Yes. Who's ready for a little action in their life, huh? You ready for some action? What in your life do you need to take more action on? Is there anything that's looming out there? What about who knows what action you should be taking it? You know it, you want it, and then you just frankly don't do it. Where does that make a whole lot of sense? You know it, you know what you're supposed to do, you really want it, and then you don't do anything about it. Wow. Well, that's what we're here to break through here this morning. Okay? So let's review last month real quick. At the end of December, we talked about that rolling start. Instead of waiting till January 1 to get a rolling start, get the green light. You know, you're coming up to an intersection, you see everybody else is stopping on the other side, and there's no other traffic, so you don't, sit there and go, oh, let me come to a full stop. You maybe time that, so, okay, your light turns green and you go through. You don't want to run through a red light, but that rolling start instead of stopping and then having to put all that energy into starting again. Okay, maybe you had Christmas, okay? So you had Christmas and then you go, well, I'm gonna just continue to eat sugar and garbage and party and hang out and not do anything. I'm not gonna exercise, I'm not gonna start my diet till January 1. And 99% of the time you do that crap, you end up sick. And that's another week before you can get going. So we talked about that rolling start. And maybe the traffic signal thing isn't a real great example of that, especially here in Central Florida. Too many people think the rolling start means, don't stop for the stop sign, etc. But seriously, getting so that you're already ahead. You don't wait to take action on something that's a great idea, something that's great for you. You don't have to know everything before you start moving. One of the examples I hear a lot is the people that, what are you doing to get fit? Well, I've gone to the trainer 3 times to talk to him about getting started. Okay, it's a start to go to the trainer and talk to him about getting started, but you should do that once and get going. You've gone back to the gym 3-4 times to talk to the guy? Okay, or the gal, maybe you got a crush on somebody there and you're not really interested in fitness. I don't know what the deal is, but how many times do you need to talk to the trainer before you get started? Okay? Think of that rolling start. Then we went into first week of the year, new you. What do you want to be? What is your real mission? What is your real dream for your life? Okay? You got to feel for, what is it I really want? Then you also got maybe that concept, and I really hope you got it, that this isn't a dress rehearsal, kids. This is step up and start living today. Sorry, I'm watching for my comments here. I got you out there, Cal. I'll get to you in a minute. This isn't a dress rehearsal. People are dropping dead left, right, and center, and at a ridiculously crazy rate and ridiculously younger than they should be, from what I see. Now, we all have our beliefs on what that could or couldn't be, and let me just clarify this whole thing for you as far as that goes. People died before COVID. People died before COVID vaccine. People will continue to die after COVID. People will continue to die after a COVID vaccine. Okay, I'm not saying that people didn't die of COVID and that people didn't die of the vaccine. We all know damn well they did. But also, there's still other causes of death in this world. Okay, people have died of cancer for years. People die of stupidity, of poor eating habits, of diabetes. There's a lot of stuff, so you can't use COVID, any of it, as an excuse not to live your life and get going. That we have to clear out. I don't care if some people believe COVID was more than it was, others believe it was less than it was. I'm glad it wasn't what they said it was going to be, and half our population didn't die. Okay, I'm really glad it wasn't this black plague that was going to take out our whole United States. Hopefully we learned some lessons throughout it all, but that's a different rant for a different day. But you know, I'm personally glad that it wasn't. Now, some people lost people to it, and you know, and some people didn't lose anybody. Some people had it. It was a sniffle nose. But the whole point of it being is you need to realize that you have one life. You could have one more day here. You could have 100 more years, depending on how old you are. If you're already 90, you probably don't want 100 more years, unless you could do it healthfully. All right, enough rant about healthy stuff, but you know, that's my passion. But new year, new you, get on. It's time. 2023 is time to go. All right, then we talked about you had to have a clear target. You had to be very clear what you got. A clear target gets hit, a musty target doesn't. If y'all ever saw the movie Insomnia with Al Pacino in it, he took a shot and it was foggy and he shot the wrong person. Well, that's a great example of not having a clear target. What about a powerful why? What do you have that drives you? That was the following week. What drives you? You know, you might say your kids, your pets, your spouse, your desire to have a spouse, your business, your creator, however it is. There's always that powerful why you're going to do something that goes beyond you. When it goes beyond you, it's more likely to drive you. Now, you might go, I want to get rich because I want to be greedy and not share with anybody, right? That's your own powerful why. But in the same respect, there might be somebody else who goes, I want to stay broke because I want to support my brothers and sisters who struggle. That's no way to help anybody. But the people that say, you know what, I want to be successful so I can help teach other people to be more successful and grow the same way I did. Now that could be a really powerful why and a valuable why. But your why is your why. I'm not here to judge what your why is. You know, so, you know, obviously if you're a parent, you know you'll do so much more for your kids than you will for yourself. At least a good parent will. You know, I mean, there's the few rockheads out there that abandon their children and stuff, but that's a grain of sand on the beach compared to most parents. Most parents would throw themselves in front of a moving bus to save their child, right? So your powerful why, just connect to it, whatever yours is. And I know I use radical examples, but you know what? I want to wake you up. If I sugarcoat and go, well, let's be really correct, and no, I don't want to get anybody riled. Bullshit. I want you riled. I want you to go. The quality of where I'm at is not what I want. I want better. I want you riled. I want to make you uncomfortable. I want to make you squirm in your seat so that you get moving and go in a better direction for you. Okay, if I sugarcoat it and give you sugar cornflakes and you go, these are pretty good, you're never going to go anywhere. If I call it like it is and get you to take action, it's never out of a nasty place. If I say something that makes you uncomfortable, it isn't out of me being nasty. It's about knowing that you need a little bit of boost to get you moving. Okay? Make sense? Fair enough? Yeah. Okay. And then we talked about red light, green light, because my butt got sick for a week. And the outcome of that show basically was there's red lights and there's green lights in life. When there's green lights are going, you go, you rock. When there's red lights, you know, you sometimes you got to bust through. But the key to it is the caution light. And that's where that show came from, because I really didn't want to do the map and GPS that week because I really felt like dirt. Okay, so the deal is that caution light. My caution light went up that week before. too much work, too much stress, not eating right, not enough rest, And the caution light was up, and I chose to ignore it. And then the red light went on. Boom, knocked me on my butt for a few days. Go figure, right? A week before a race, right? And I'm going out and do this race and with a hand injury and not feeling well. Wow, what a double whammy that was. And you know what? I'm so glad I did the race. You know, in retrospect, I almost copped out of it. It's like, wow, the experience you miss out on going back to that, rolling start. Was I really ready for that race? Was I on the top of my game? No, but the outcome of it was like, wow, amazing, amazing, amazing what you don't miss out on in life, or what you could miss out on if you step back and go, oh, I'm just not going to do that, or I'm not that kind of person, or I'm not going to step up out of my comfort zone. You miss all the best things in life that way. And then last week we talked about the map and the GPS. And the map and the GPS, you might think of the same thing, but they're a little different. But I'm going to allude to get around to that with something with you. So today is action. Action, baby. Take action. And Kelly writes, hey, Coach, what if I feel paralyzed when I try to take action? Well, number one, Kelly, you're not alone. Okay, that is a definite situation that happens to many people. And paralysis is fear. Okay, you fear what could go right or could go wrong. Now, there's ways to do mitigation sheets and everything else on this, and mitigate and understand what your fears are and breakthroughs. It's a really complex but simple formula, but still, there's more to it than just, okay, just shake it off and go. But so if you feel paralyzed, you got to find out why. You got to go back to that why. If you're afraid of heights, okay, and hopefully it's a great example for you. If you're afraid of heights and you wouldn't go out on the edge of a balcony without a rail on a tall building, and you were too afraid to do that, but if your toddler wandered out there and you knew if they took one more step they were going over, I guarantee you go out there and swipe the kid and bring them back in. Make sense? I think that should hopefully answer that one for you. You're absolutely welcome. I hopefully that was a good example. So good. All right, carrying on. If you have more questions, let me know. Today we're talking about action, guys. This is the part where you make shit happen. Okay, you can want it all day long. You can want it, you can know it, and you can know what to do. But nothing happens without massive action. Massive action is where it's at, not little action. Massive action. Now, sometimes people say, well, Dean Graziosi's famous for this one. It's the little actions, guys, the little actions. And I agree with him. The little actions build into bigger actions. But if you want to do something huge, you're going to have to take a mass amount of action. All right, let's say you want to go from 100,000 a year to 1 million a year. Okay? Making little changes each day, making $10 a day more isn't going to get you there. Okay, you'd have to look at that and map it out and go, use last week's show and map that. Go, what would it really take to add $900,000 more this year? It ain't making $10 more a week, folks. So this is where massive plays in. Now, it doesn't mean that every single little action has got to be massive. You can come up with those little habits, those little actions that you do routinely that support that massive action. Makes sense? Because sometimes you can't just take a massive action without supporting and building up some legs around that action to support it. It's like a table trying to put it on one leg, a 4-leg table, and trying to stand it up on one leg, it's just going to tip. So you do need to build up with the smaller actions. So there's a lot to this, guys. All right, so then the map or the GPS gives you the plan, but now you got to turn the key. The map is, in your GPS is where you're going. There's fuel in the car. Now you got to turn the key to start the engine. And that's the action. Then you got to push down on the accelerator. Oh, got to do that too? And drive it and shift. Okay, the one thing you don't want to do is have your life on total autopilot controlled by somebody else. You don't want a car that you type it in and you sit back and vegetate and get there. your brain will start to vegetate. Okay, I mean, all the self-driving cars and that's all cool, and I'm all about technology. But when you compare it to your life, you've got to participate or else you turn to mush. There's only so much you can automate. Now, I'm a big fan of automating. I'm a big fan of shortcutting. I'm a big fan of delegation. But you got to keep this active. You got to be engaged, okay? So initially, your action is going to seem like a heck of a lot of work. Okay, but then when you develop those into some habits that you can put on autopilot so you can continue to grow, you don't just, and the difference is of what you set on autopilot as opposed to what society, news media, government, regulations want to put you on autopilot are two different things. When you develop something that you go, okay, now every morning, my morning routine is pretty darn routine. I've got it down to where I get up and I do what supports me. Okay, I do my celery juice, I do my cold splash, I do my shower, I do my prayer, I do my gratitude. I just do it. I don't have to sit there and get my list out and go, what is my morning routine supposed to be? Now, initially, yeah, I had to create it. Because what wasn't working. Okay, it wasn't working to give me the energy, the level of cognizance, the health that I wanted. It was acceptable to get by. You know, so is driving through Dunkin' Donuts and getting, a chemical-ridden coffee and a donut. That's autopilot on the way to the office, and you wonder why you can't keep your eyes open towards lunchtime. Okay, I drink coffee. It's organic, Life Boost. I've told you about it time and time again. If you need links for it, guys, go check out. I'll get you some links for Life Boost. It's the best dang coffee in the world. Why? Because it's organic, it has no chemicals, it's low acid, and it tastes phenomenal. I don't drink it because I gotta have a cup of coffee to get going in the morning. I drink it because I love it, and it's good for me. Wow, what a win. But those are the type of things, I don't sit there and go, how am I supposed to make coffee in the morning anymore? I know, I hit the thing that heats the water, I do the pour over, boom, 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 boom. I do it. I don't have to sit there and check a checklist anymore. That's what allows you to continue to grow. So I can be thinking on Monday morning, instead of how do I make the coffee, I can be thinking of how do I make the show even better? But, okay, we're ranting there a little bit because I want to be respectful of your time this morning. So when it comes to action, you want to make it massive. Don't be a dabbler. Be all in. See, the problem is sometimes people go, I'll try a little bit of this. Okay, celery juice, for instance. I have it every morning. Okay, it's not my favorite part of the morning, but I'll tell you what it does for your health is one of my favorite things. Okay, because we're in a toxic environment. There's no doubt about it that our environment is more toxic than it used to be. Okay, it's a given. So doing that once a week would be okay, better than none. Twice a week, 2 times a week, but now I probably miss a day a week because I can only juice so far in advance and schedule. Maybe miss 1 or 2 days a week, but 5 out of 7 days I'm doing celery juice first thing out of bed. Wow, what a difference that makes over a year. Same thing with sauna. Okay, I got the sauna, so how many, there's studies everywhere that prove it'll prevent Alzheimer's and heart disease and all kinds of other stuff. But you got to use it. You got to do it. And so, and some people would say, well, I don't have an extra 40 minutes a day just to go sit in the sauna. Must be nice, coach. Let me tell you something. Try to keep up with me for a day. Not being a wise butt, but there's a lot going on in this life and in this head, and that I'm responsible for each and every day. And I am not perfect on time management by any means yet. I'm still on a growth spurt on that. And I need more of a growth spurt. But see, that's my university. Or once in a while, my absolute downtime. But I go in the sauna and I got the TV with the Bluetooth pipes through and talks to me through the speaker. Really good speakers in that thing, by the way. And I use it as my university. I'm watching something on YouTube. I'm taking something on one of my courses. I'm using it as a 40-minute university. Wow, how cool is that, right? Right. Cool stuff. Hey, Sandra, I know I saw you got an earthquake. Hey, do you remember, Sandra? Sorry, guys, I'm watching multiple chats. Do you remember somewhere around 7th grade, I was sitting, and some people said I was nuts, but we all know Buffalo's on a major fault line. I was sitting in class and my desk went, and I was like, that was an earthquake. And they're like, no, it's not. A dump truck went by or something. Well, years later, yes. Yeah, no, it was real. And years later, when I was out in the desert, we got hit with a rolling earthquake when I was in my office. And funny thing was it was the same sound. You know when a dump truck or a semi truck hits a big bump and it goes ba boom? It went ba boom, and my office went ba boom, ba boom. Yes, I'm praying that everybody's okay up there. Hopefully there was no damage, nobody got hurt. But we've known for years that Buffalo was on a fault line, but a lot of people denied it. And these are the things that it fits right in with today. Actually, if you deny that you're dabbling, and you say, well, I'm doing a little bit of this, or, well, I'm not that kind of person. Buffalo's not that kind of city to have an earthquake. I'm not that kind of person to go all in. That's reserved for Coach or Tony Robbins or presidents or bullcrap. You are that kind of person to go right in. Dive in. And that's all relevant to what it is that you want. Okay, you might go, Coach, I have no interest in doing a show like you do. I have no interest in being in front of the camera. Maybe you do. Maybe you want to be an actor or actress. And, hey, that's all cool and that, but that's not really my thing. That I'm not trying to go out, and trust me, I'm not trying to go back to LA. But, I don't want to, that's not my thing, but I certainly want to reach as many people as possible with this show. So I ain't dabbling, guys. I haven't missed a show. God, I can't tell you how long. One time, I think in the past year, I missed a show. Okay? So I ain't dabbling. And there's a lot of other things going on. So stepping it up, guys. Stepping it up. Let's do this. So how do you do it? You get all in. How do you get all in? You go through the steps of what we did all month. Okay? You get in and you go and you build upon. Funny thing is, I want to tell you a little story here real quick. For years, I've had the same argument with a good friend of mine. And she has a very different belief to goals than I do when it comes to like setting outrageous goals. My take is this: set a huge goal. And her take is set a realistic goal and, that you can hit or exceed. What's the difference there? Okay? And there's no right or no wrong on this one. Very, very highly respect this friend of mine. She's a business lady, owns a business, and she does very well and very intelligent and a super great friend. And, we bounce business ideas off each other all the time. But I was like, okay, so let's quantify again with money because it's easy to quantify. So I say, if you're making 50 grand a year right now, and you say, you're me, and you go, I want to make $500,000 this year. And you got my mindset to set a lofty goal. Is it possible? Okay, if it's totally impossible, no. You're not going to jump on your rebounder and hit the moon. But you could go to the moon if you make enough money to pay Elon to take you there. So you could go to the moon, but you're not going to do it by jumping on your home rebounder, right? So there is a bit of realisticity. Could you make $500,000 if you're only making $50,000 a year right now? Yes, you could. It is attainable, but not easily. And her thing would be like, well, you'd be better off setting a goal to make $100,000, double your income. Is that attainable? Heck yeah. A whole lot easier attainable in most cases than making $500,000, which is 10x. So my whole thing was, okay, I said to her, so if you set that goal for 100,000 and you hit it, how do you feel? Oh, that's awesome. And I said, what if you make 110? You've busted through it. That's the best in the world. You exceeded your goal. Now, do I have to agree with her? If you bust past your goal, yes, that's amazing. Where I disagree or don't see it the same way, I said, well, what if, I set a goal for $500,000 and I make $475,000? Her answer to me is, you failed. And I'm like, but hold on. Person A said, I want to go from 50 to 100. They made 110. They're celebrating. Person B said, I want to go from 50 to 500. They made 475, which is 365 more than person A, and they failed? So my question for you, would you rather exceed a impotent goal? Doubling your income is not impotent, but compared to make the $500,000, compared to 10x, or would you rather get really close to the massive goal and have X amount more when it's all said and done, whether you actually hit the exact number or not? Wow, pretty interesting thing to think about. Take that in for yourself, because who's right, her or I? Neither one. In both. Okay? It all depends on what your vision for you is and what you consider success. Okay? It is, hey, if you double your income plus, that's not a bad thing. But if you 10x your income, that's pretty dang phenomenal, or 9.5. Wow, 4. See, but you don't quit. If you did 4 jobs, Sandra, in one day, that is, that shows you don't quit. My question for you would be, and I'm going to ask this kind of question. Yes, meet and beat. Amen. My question for you is, if you did 4 different jobs on Sunday, could you have taken, and just as a little offshoot here, so maybe take 3 of those towards normal expense. What about that 4th one of the day? Could you put that into something growth-oriented towards that loftier goal? Okay, maybe the 3 are taking you to your current goal, but could you take that 4th and go into a lofty goal? There we go. See, just a little bit of idea for you. You can always get it from me. You're gonna get something that's gonna give you that little poke and jab, because I want you to succeed. I want the best for you, each and every one of you out there. Okay, whether you're out there and you're just watching, or whether you're interacting like Sandy and Kelly, you're here for a reason. And when you get your reason, I get my reason, because my reason's to help you get your reason. Wow, pretty crazy the way it all works out, isn't it? So, real quick, I'm going to give you, here's the steps to hit your goal. You ready for this magic formula, guys? All right, number 1, you got to define it. You got to know very clearly what it is. What is your goal? Okay? Make a couple extra bucks. Fine. Here's a couple dollars. Get the heck out of here. Okay? You got to quantify, define. But then you got to envision it. And this is where The Secret was a really cool book about envisioning. And then it stopped. You don't just envision what you want and it falls in your lap. And I don't have time to tell you the funny story to go along with that. But if you participate in what I'm going to tell you about at the end here, you're going to get that story. All right, you got to envision it, but then you got to find your why. What's going to drive you? What is your most important why to you? Yes? Then make your map, and the GPS is kind of a next level of map, but we're going to discuss that at a different time. Number 5, you know what it is. Take massive action. And number 6, measure and adjust when necessary. Number 7, there's a secret no one tells you. I'm not going to tell you today. I'm not going to tell you either. I'll be revealing the secret in our live goal creation and number 1 secret workshop. Okay? Now, the cool thing about the goal creations workshop, I'm offering it free. Yeah, on the 23rd of February, 7 p.m. Free. There's a free version. Join up. Get on. It's going to be like this. You're going to be able to ask questions. We're going to teach. I'm going to teach. It's not going to be just like on the show where we're just kind of a morning quickie. That didn't sound right. This isn't just morning quickie deal. This is going to be deep dive, guys. So sign up today. I'm going to go ahead and put the links in everywhere that we are broadcasting this morning. Sorry for taking a second to do that. We've got a few different chats open. We do multi-stream the show. So, yeah. And, you can always see it at accelerate.life.com if you missed the show. And because I put it on the blog. Our blog is basically these shows. But also you can listen on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Really honored to be on all the platforms there too. So rocking and rolling, guys. But I want you on this event because I'm going to share that secret. And it's not that difficult. It's not that big a secret. But nobody shares it with you when they're teaching goals and teaching this stuff. And it's what makes it long-term, not short-term. You can do anything short-term, but how you build it into long-term is the secret that everybody forgets to tell you when it comes to goal setting. They all want to tell you they got to be smart, they got to be this, they want to use a bunch of acronyms. I love acronyms, but you got to have something that embodies this to really take you to the next level. Holy moly, I'm excited this morning. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it having you guys on. I love those of you that interact, and those of you that are being wallflowers and still hanging out there going, I don't want to be pointed out or talk or ask. That's okay. Get on this seminar with me. It's free. I want to see y'all there. Do it. So the only other thing I want to talk to you about this morning, except for start today, and once you sign up for it, I got a little email series with some trainings on it, also free, to build up to the event so that you know when you show up, you're going to know what you want to ask about. You're going to know what direction you're headed in. So sign up for it. The links are out there. Is key to success. Brandon out west came up with the only planning system I've ever been able to really implement. Why? I'm a little old school. I like to write stuff down. I like to graph it. In Google Calendar, you can't do that. Okay? But I also like to have a planner where I can see my day and I can do my block times and stuff and then have project management and all that. And there's everything under the sun. There's 20 different apps for this crap, but none of them all work together. But then you can buy Zapier for another X amount a month to do that. Okay, I love tech, but I found the best thing in the world. I can do something on the computer with it. It operates through OneNote or GoodNote, whatever systems you use. It's basically a templating type thing, but it really is awesome because you can do all this. I can do part on the computer. I can do part on the iPad. I can draw in it. I can write in it. I can map out everything. I don't lose any of it, and it's on all my devices. Boom. And it's very inexpensive. So I'm going to put the link in for that too real quick. So go check it out. Brandon's really cool. The founder is just good family guy. Just a good person who created something amazing. And I'll tell you, yes, I am an affiliate. I do get a small commission if you use my link. So please use my link. But that's not why I recommend it or why I use the planner, because let me tell you something. When I started using his planner, there was no affiliate program, okay? So there really, literally was no affiliate program for the Key to Success setup. So I love it. Very inexpensive. It's like ridiculously inexpensive. It's basically almost, to me, cheaper than buying one of the woohoo paper planners. And the paper planners, let's face it, just like your school papers, can get eaten by the dog or by an alligator or something in my case. And the digital, with the, put it on Google Calendar. Google Calendar is great for a calendar, but you can't, people say, we can type notes in there and that. You can't draw, you can't map, you can't share, and it's just great. So anyway, that's my commercial for you for the day is Key to Success. Use our link, please, because it helps to keep the show going. And I think my timer's telling me it's time to allow you to go out and apply what you've learned today. Go take some action. Go make some decisions. Make the decision. I want you to sign up right now for our free webinar. If you want to call it a webinar, I like to call it a workshop because it's interactive. You don't sit there, I'm not sitting there going through PowerPoint slides. There are some presentation pieces I use in there, but it's a lot of interactive, you and I. Okay? All right, guys, live with absolute faith, energy, passion, and always live your dreams. And I'm signing off. It's great to see you guys. Thank you all for everybody who was on this morning and participated. Be blessed. Have an amazing day. And I'll see you on the next roundabout. This is Coach Lou signing off.
Ready to take it to the next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dream.